We are now on the rear pockets, and we are going to treat these in the same way as the front bib pocket. We're going to create it the same way that is. And so I'm going to start by rolling just this top raw edge down 1/4 of an inch and pressing that in place. So I'm going to start with some double stick tape. And then from here, we flip it so it's right side up, and you fold it down right at that 1 inch mark. Now, technically it should be at the notch, but because of my interfacing, it doesn't want to bend down that far. So I'm just going to follow the line that the interfacing is making. So it's 1 inch rather. Clip this into place on both sides. I'm going to measure it just to ensure that it's equidistant down on both sides. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Perfect. And then now the pattern tells you to go and stitch with the 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. But because I had to go back and pick out my stitches on the bib pocket down here for the fold lines, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stitch the sides on this top panel here. I'm just going to trim like I did before. And then just like on the bib pocket, we flip like this and use something to push your corners out. So it looks something like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go press this really well, and I'm going to go ahead and press my 1/2 inch fold as well so we can do the top stitching. Okay, so I have both of them. You can see I have them prepped and pressed and ready to go. So I'm just going to add my double stitch line here along the bottom, just like I did on the front bib. So now this would be a good time if you wanted to add some fun detailing on the pockets, which I'm considering doing. So we'll see. So some inspiration hit when I was over there, and I thought that I would play off of the yellow. And I think that it'll be really subtle with the yellow thread, but I just drew some suns and some sun rays. They're a little haphazard right now, but I'm gonna tighten it up whenever I'm stitching. Well, these are the cutest things I've ever seen. And yes, the sun shines out of my bum. Haha. Okay, so next thing that we need to do is gather our back pieces, and we need to sew these darts. I'm glad I didn't cut them out earlier because you're not supposed to, so that's good. So you're just gonna match these notches that we snipped back in step 1. And then we're gonna follow that stitch or that line that we drew from the beginning of the dart up to here. So it's just a really minor dart. So we're gonna do that on both. So I'm editing the Riley overall video, and I realized that somehow I missed a chunk of direction. But so you fold the darts on that line, and you're gonna stitch up that drawn line, and then you fold them open, and you're gonna top stitch down one side of that dart. And that's what you're gonna see in this next sewing video. So instead of transferring the dots again onto the front of my pants back, because I don't want those silver dots on there showing again, I just measured where it should be laying roundabout. And so I'm just going to use those measurements to lay my pockets in place. I'm going to repeat that on the other side. See, my dart went a little far on the sides. It's a little wonky, but it should be covered up by the pocket, so I'm not too worried about it. So now, to complete these pockets, I just need to go and do my double stitch line around the sides and bottoms. I would say those are pretty darn cute. Look how those came out. So now to finish these off, I'm just going to add a couple rivets here at the top of the pockets.